All right, so what is up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Sheila B on the Beat. Today, I have a very special guest on with me. I have been waiting to interview someone who works in the field of real estate for a very long time, and so today we have with us Miss Mims. Sorry, Miss Kendra Mims, and she is going to pretty much give us some inside scoop about real estate. So, Kendra, how are you? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Kendra Mims. I am a realtor in the Houston area and surrounding area of Houston, Texas. It's nice to be here. How are you? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for being on. I know we talked for a little bit earlier. So, would you mind telling everyone how you got started in real estate?
So, like I was telling you earlier, how I got started in real estate is really a, I didn't even know this, but I was telling my mom earlier, I'm like, I'm going to podcast today about real estate. She's like, oh, you should talk about how, like, like your grandfather on this side has real estate, and then your grandfather on your father had side, great grandfather owns real estate. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that they did that. I was like, that must have been
Yeah.
like the thing that's it's pretty much in my blood now that she reminded me of that because we don't have a big family dynamic, but she reminded me of
Yeah.
that today. I was like, oh yeah, it's really in my blood.
Yes.
But like I was telling you earlier, I didn't even know anything. I didn't even know before I got into real estate. I didn't even know that. So I got started pretty much just praying and asking God for something that I would be really good at. And after graduated college, COVID happened. So the only job I really could find, nobody was hiring. The only job I could find was working at a warehouse at UPS. And I'm just like, I have a degree and I can't even use
Yeah.
it. So I did that for 2 years, working in a warehouse, and I just worked and just prayed and just continued to like pray until God gave me something. Unfortunately, I got sick being at UPS from catching COVID and got fired because I couldn't pass a COVID test. So, like I was telling you earlier, I couldn't. The only thing that was holding me right now was getting unemployment. And during that time unemployment, I was on unemployment for like 6 months. And I was like, man, I need something to
Yeah.
get me started to getting back into the motion of working and stacking up money. And all I was surviving off was my savings and unemployment, which wasn't gonna last me. I knew that was gonna last me long, so I was like, I need a job. So went into being an RBT, could went with going with my degree plan, being a behavioral therapist, which I still am now. I do part time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working. Found a job 6 months later after being out of work for 6 months. Found a job as RBT 6 months later. 6 months into that job, it was the end of the year. I was like, God, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to be a BCBA. I'm like, that's too much. I wouldn't have a life. I'm like, there's no life in that to me.
Yeah.
Like, will not be able to see my family, go traveling. Those are the things that I've always desired. I never really saw myself working a 9 to 5 ever. I just knew go to college is the right thing to do, get a good education because that's what my parents knew.
Yeah.
So I was praying to God, what does I need? What is it? And I was just scrolling through my phone and I kept seeing this ad pop up about real estate, real estate, real estate. And something inside me was like, do this. This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, gonna go out on a whim. I found a course on to me education is education. As long as it's good education and there's it's something that's backed by it.
Yeah.
So found my school on group through Groupons. I found a Groupon because I didn't have like $1,000 to $12,000 to give to a school for real
Yeah.
estate, and I'm just like, I don't even have that. So that Groupon came in handy, which I ended up going doing an online course. And in Texas, you got to pass 180 hours of, pre-licensing coursework before you get your license, which
Yeah.
was for me the hard part because I wasn't a great student even in college. I was a C student. See,
Yeah.
I was the one C's get degrees.
Yes. You
that
said
was that was me, and it took me about I would say it took me about a year, almost a year to get my license. So I got started in 2020, started course 2022.
yeah.
Yeah, I started course 2022, going through the coursework, going through working a full time job as well, trying to get through the coursework, going to work from 8 to 6 p.m. And then coming home, trying to get dinner started, trying to,
Yeah.
wind down from working with, children that scream all day
Yeah.
and are in behavior, which is a very high, like, that's a high intense job. That's
Yeah.
a high intense job, but you got to have patience for it.
Yeah.
So going through that, life was life, and
Yeah.
family, my parents are getting older, stuff is just happening, I have other siblings too as well. We're all getting older. We want to make sure like we're all like still, while life is going through, sometimes you lose connection with like even your own family when you're trying to just like,
Definitely. Yeah.
get through
Yep.
life. And so like those are the things that are kind of like slowing me down a little bit because I'm trying to go here, do this, do this, do this, and go to school at the same time. So like it took me a little while like to really like buckle down and really be like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to get laser focused. And that even my boyfriend would I was like, I can't get through this. It's like school is so hard. He's like, if you got
Yeah.
through school already went through 4.5 years of school, I'm pretty sure if you just buckle down for a good like probably for me working that schedule that I was working, probably like just take 2 to 4 hours out of my day after working and really just buckle down and try to
Instead.
find rest.
So that's my question. So
Yeah.
after you start something, like people think that like getting the mind to start something is the hard part, but to stay consistent with it. So like with the real estate exam, like you said, life was life, and I told you on the phone that I was going to
Hmm.
steal from you that
Yeah.
life just be life,
Yeah.
and so when you are studying for the real estate exam, you have hardships because you life happens. So what was that like? How do you continue to keep the momentum, or if you lose it, how do you get it back to continue on to get your license?
For me, I have to go through, I don't write things down. I write down my thoughts, I write down what I'm
Yeah.
feeling. So, and I usually do that during like morning prayer in the
Yeah.
morning and write down what I'm feeling. Or if I take too long to like harbor, I can't harbor my emotions too long. I can harbor them for a long time, but then like at one point I'll become like, oh man, I get tired of being in the same cycle.
Yeah.
So good thing that I have that, and thank God for my mom. I always tell my mom work hard and like push through anything. My mom is the toughest person I
Yeah.
know. She's the
Oh,
toughest and she's not scared of anything, and I love that.
yeah.
And that I think about my mom. I'll be like, you know what? She did this. I can do this too. I got through college, which I
Yep.
never did think I would get through college. I got a scholarship to run in college. I think about those things, the things that I've already God already blessed me with.
Yeah.
So when I do get discouraged, those moments when I was getting discouraged, and those moments where I felt like just this taking too long, this is get it up. I'm just like, you know what? God is showing me favor by me already just being in it. All I have to do is finish. That's
Yeah.
it.
So
I
that's
Yes,
so you finished it. You did it.
I ended up finishing it. I did it. It took me so with the test though, like you take two tests. So you got the state international test. The state test I did not really study for, but I'm like, I'm already in Texas resident. My parents are homeowners. I pretty much
Right.
know like that. I'm just like I'm not too worried about that one. The national test, for me, I could get through everything but the math part. And it took me 4 times to take the test. So the first time I passed it, I passed the Texas test. I was like, all right, cool. I don't got to worry about that. All I have to do is worry about the national portion.
Okay, so back up. You didn't say that on
Hmm
the phone. You took the test 4 times.
I took the test 4 times. Yes.
Okay, so I know like with real estate, so many days in between you have to wait. So
hmm
do you ever in between that time, do you ever say like, man, just forget it. I'm just not even finna do it.
Yes, I did. One time I was like, maybe this man, this is not for me. And then I went to work one day. It was just that one day you ever just felt like, oh no,
Yes.
oh no, like
I think I
what?
think I think everybody I think everybody has that day. And that's what's so amazing is that the hardship we hate like you don't like hardships. People don't we don't like hardships as natural people, but they do push you. So you felt like that hardship pushed you back into trying to do it.
Oh yeah, and being
Yes.
a when you're RBT, you have kids on the spectrum. I don't know if you've ever been around kids on the spectrum, like they go into behavior. Sometimes you may get hit, bit, scratch, what you don't know.
Yeah.
It was one of those type of days, and I was like getting up early in the morning to drive somewhere, like where I'm like, oh, I'm not at home, I'm not spending time with my family. I'm not
Yeah.
making much money. Companies could change their policy anytime they want to. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, limited money. I'm just like, I don't like that at all. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
got this degree that goes here. And I'm just like, doesn't even match up to what
Yeah.
the pay doesn't even match up to what the years that I spent on this degree.
Wow.
So I had one of those days and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna finish the
Yes.
test. Whatever I have to do. So I fasted. That's what that's how I get my breakthroughs. When there's too much going on, I'm the type of person that when something's telling me stop, I
Yeah.
stop and I be still and I fast. That's what I do. And I
Yeah.
pray. And I get a breakthrough with that and it's able like it helps me push me forward
And
to
it helped push you through.
it did. And mine's every day, saying affirmations every day.
Yes. So you get through that, you
Mm-hmm.
take the test, you have endurance, you keep going, you pass the test. And so you now are in real estate. So I had mentioned on the when we talked earlier that I think there's a now I'm not in real estate, so I just want to be clear.
Mm.
So I'm ignorant to it. That's all right. So that's why I want to have somebody on. So I think that there's a possibly a misconception that when you get into real estate, you start to make crazy money right off the bat. Now I guess maybe that's for some people it's true, right? But I
Yeah.
don't know. So what is that like?
It really depends. Like there are some brokers, like I was telling you, you don't have to pay brokerage fees. What some people don't tell you, it's an expensive business, especially if
Yeah.
you want to do a certain price point. Like if you want to do the luxury price point homes, yeah, you're gonna need some pocket money out of that. And marketing too, as well, plays a big part in real estate.
And that's coming
You're
out of your money.
and it's coming out of your money that you're already,
Yeah.
like if there's some people, they still live with their parents and is doing this, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's good. Do that
Yeah.
because it's better to save have a job, live with your parents, and stack up your paper and still and learn in real estate and start in real estate. And that money that you're saving up while you're at your parents' house, you're using it on marketing and everything. But then there's people who are like me who have a home already, who's renting or
Yeah.
car note. Like I said, life stuff, paying bills. Like we got to do a little bit part time
Yeah.
until we get that until we start seeing that money come in and we
Yeah.
start seeing those those clients roll in. um but yeah, it's expensive,
Okay.
like.
I guess
And
expensive.
even after taking it, like like whatever education you go through, like people spend $12,000 for the course. Some people you have to pay for the test too, which comes out for yourself, whichever state you're in. I know some
Yeah,
states are
classing.
lower
I've
than
seen people take like classes, study classes.
study classes too, and what they don't tell you is if you want to be really, really certified, like you can get a new construction certification, you're gonna have to take a course at that. It costs.
Yeah,
You want to be a real certified luxury agent. It costs to continue to get that education, but it is
yeah,
worth it though. It's worth it compared to you selling those homes and the money that you spend. So
yeah.
really, for me, it really opened my eyes to, girl, you need to budget better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
That is so good that you say that because one thing, like even in this, like even in podcasting, I there was a point in time where I realized that there was stuff I needed, but you still have your own personal bills. So it's like you do get to a point where you have to choose, like, do I buy something to be better at what I'm doing, or do I save this money and put it on this bill? So investing in yourself is a big thing. I think maybe in whatever field, some people are not ready for that, you
yeah,
know, because it's I guess it's like a hit or miss because you could invest in something and could get no return in it. So with you having to spend, let's say, your personal money on marketing and stuff as a realtor, how do you overcome that thought? Like, what if I'm putting my money into this and nothing comes out of it?
I really just be no, but like for real, like I think about that. I'm just like, thank goodness I have a brokerage where I don't have to pay brokerage fees.
Okay,
Like
yeah,
the only fees I would have to pay is when I sell a home, they take a fee out of that, which
yeah,
with my brokerage that I'm with, can I say my brokerage on here? I don't know if I can.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm with LPT Realty, and with that, how they have their setup, you can choose whichever like plan you want to choose. With them, they have a builder plan, and then they have the another plan where it's like 80-20 split. But the builder plan is and LPT stands for listing power tools, which for me they provide you the marketing tools that you need. They provided me with the marketing tools that I would need to the business cards, postage stamps,
yeah,
to those little thank you cards that you write with my face on it, my number,
yeah,
where to contact me at. And the only thing I had to pay was $18 for shipping and handling.
yeah. So if
So I was
someone's new
grateful
to
for
it,
that.
is that better? If let's just say somebody's not familiar with
Hmm.
marketing, is that better? Like the company you're with, is it better to let them help or let them handle it?
Yes, yes. It's better to let them help and let them help. Because say you're like, oh, okay, I gotta spend over here for this. I got my car note. I got my light bill coming up. First month of rent coming up. Dues as well. We gotta pay dues as realtors as well. We got
Okay.
HAR, Houston Association of Realtors, TAR, and you have to pay that. I think, and the MLS too as well. You pay that
Yeah. Yeah.
quarterly, and like I said, you have to pay your dues, which is probably close to almost $500 in Texas.
Wow.
Uh, hmm
That's quite a
So
bit. That's quite a bit.
that's quite a bit, yeah. So you got a budget too as well, especially you don't have no clientele coming in and you're working a part-time job. You got to save that money as well. So for me, I would say if you don't have to spend a lot of money coming out your pocket. I would say go ahead and join that brokerage that will
Yeah.
provide you education and marketing materials to help you as well.
Yeah.
And only taking a certain amount out of your commission is better than, you splitting, 60-40,
Yeah.
because you still got to get your money. You still got to make your living too doing this as well.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like you need to have some endurance during testing to be a realtor.
Hmm.
It sounds like you have to be pretty good at budgeting, right?
Yeah.
Before you decide to get into real estate. So how about some hardships in being a realtor? So are there ever times where the market is slow? The housing market does its thing, it's up and down. I don't know it wholeheartedly, but I hear about it. So do you have to prepare for times where it may be a while before you actually have a check or sell a house?
Yeah, basically, time, how you use your time, like
Yeah.
I said, budgeting, like I said, how you use your time. So right now, I'm using my time like on the weekends doing open houses, calling people, going out into the community, seeing what is around. So, you may not have
Yeah.
that, like, right, especially like right now, the holiday time is slow right now. This is a slow period in real estate where, everybody's like spending money on gifts and holiday
Yeah.
travel. So no one's really thinking about buying a house right now. And we're also in the middle of the school year as well. No one's going to be, some
Oh,
may
I didn't think of
uproot their,
that. Okay.
some people are may not thinking about right now uprooting their family to move somewhere else. Most
Yeah.
people really move during the summertime, spring, summertime. That's when they mostly move. Wintertime is really just a time like is a downtime.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
hmm
Okay.
So having it's really just time management. How do you think of other ways that you can make money? And there's many other avenues in real estate too. To right now, I'm learning about wholesaling.
Yeah.
So, and that's working with investors. Investors, they're always buying, you
Yeah.
know. So, so there's an investor out there that's always looking for something. There is a deal every day. You just
Wow.
have to use your time wisely. Think of um, things that are going to make you money while you're not selling homes right now. Reach out to,
Yeah.
for me, reaching out to expired listings, see what I could, help with that. And then if you have also clients that, also another difficulty in it is having clients that say they want to buy and then don't want to buy.
Yes.
So, you're going through a whole process. I went through a whole process of a month with somebody thinking that they were wanting to buy, and I'm sending them homes to look at, and next thing I know, they're asking me, hey, they thought it through and they're thinking about relocating to somewhere else.
So that's what I wanted to ask. So, of course, like in real estate, you deal with all kinds of people, right? You
hmm
have, I guess, everybody has a different personality. So, through the process, you are with them, and it's a long process to buy a house. I have
Yeah.
a good friend of mine who bought a house, and she kind of like, told me her process, and it seemed like it could be a long time. So,
Right.
if you as the realtor are with them through that and then it does not fall through, I think that's the side maybe a lot of people don't see. They don't know that
hmm
you kind of like, do you ever get emotionally attached to people or attached to them in the home, or do you ever get discouraged when you spend, like you say, you
Yeah.
spent 30 days with a potential buyer and then it doesn't fall through? What is that like? How do you overcome that?
I don't really have I'm just like, okay, I always got to make sure you have another client, like this, you may be
Okay,
working with
yes.
this client, but I'm still going to look for work because
Yeah.
we're human. We change our minds.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it as anything like, oh, like I just did all this work. I'm
Yeah.
glad especially being a newly licensed agent, I'd rather do all that work and know what I'm getting myself into
Yeah.
and know what like, okay, this is the process I'm gonna be going through with some people. But now
Yeah.
that I know, like, there's things that I can do and like making sure, like, are you sure that like making sure that my client wants to buy?
Yes.
Making sure like you sign those agreements that hey like you agree to these terms and things like that as well, and just I'm just the type that's just like, okay, that's okay, on to the next thing.
So it sounds pretty much like you cannot be soft in real
It
estate.
is
You
no, it is
yeah,
not
you
for the
it
faint of
sounds like you
heart.
have to really yeah, it sounds you have to have some pretty thick skin to hear that. Cause I'm not gonna lie, if I work with somebody that long and they're like, never mind. That's why I told you earlier, I'd be like, we just spent all this time, like, what do you mean no? And so it sounds like you have to be able to like overcome, like take a hit and just keep moving, right?
Just keep moving, and then you have some clients, they're like, "Oh, I don't know. they really, and they really do want to buy a house, but they're
Uh-huh.
a little bit scared. So it's my job to nurture them. That's what I do as a realtor: nurture them, let them know about the
Yeah.
market, uh, what things are coming up in the neighborhood that they're looking at. Hey, why don't we go over there and see like some of the activities that they have in neighborhood? Because there's some neighborhoods that like that, especially for family oriented people who are family
Yes.
oriented, you want to put them somewhere where they're going to be, like where
Yes.
the HOA has family themed events, where there's like
Yeah.
Christmas events or stuff like that. So I don't mind going through that process of nurturing a
Yeah.
client and getting them through like whatever it is, even if it's finances. Okay,
Yeah.
if we gotta wait a little bit to, for your credit to get up,
Yeah.
or for the clients who don't, who want to buy a house but think that they can't buy a house because of credit or anything, you know, you don't need a lot of credit to buy a house.
Yeah.
So,
So when you say they're afraid, like some of the people that are afraid to buy homes, let's say you have a qualified buyer, but
mhm.
you said they might be afraid. What are they mostly afraid of?
Those are the things that I gotta get get to see. What are
Oh, so you
you
have to like
afraid
dig
of?
it out of them. Yeah.
I gotta dig a little more, be personable with my
Yeah.
clients, which I something is a skill that I'm really good at having. Today's our first day meeting. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm glad I had that skill, and also for me too, being in RBT as
Yeah.
well, part time, I learned human behavior pretty
Yes.
much. I understand human behavior. That's what I went to school for as well, like understanding nonverbal cues,
Yeah.
like body language when someone's going looking at a house. If they're curious, like I can kind of tell what they're thinking about just
Yeah.
by digging a little bit and answering those questions of like whatever it is they're looking at
Yeah.
within that house, or even if we're talking face to face. I If I'm talking about financing and they kind of be like a little bit tense about it,
Yeah.
then or just like, you know, some people are not used to change.
Yeah.
Really just getting someone out of their comfort zone, knowing that, you don't want to be, do you really want to be a renter for life?
Yeah.
Are
Right.
you really like, you thought about home ownership? Why don't we go
Yeah.
ahead and just talk about the process, talk about my process, and I'm here to walk you through that process. No
Yeah.
matter to me, as long as you're serious about buying your home and your life, because buying a home, that's a big deal.
It is. It is. So you have to make it very you have, I guess, to be in real estate you have to be prepared to make it seem very non like transactional, because people do that. I told you
Hmm.
earlier, like years ago, I went to a realtor. I wanted to buy a home, and I just wanted to see if I would qualify for a home, and I didn't at the time. And I told you, he was like, all right, well, you gotta, when your credit gets a little better, then contact me. It felt very transactional, right?
Hmm.
So how do you help that? I guess you make it non-transactional by really caring about the people you're trying to help get into the homes, right?
Yes, because I love helping people. That's one thing that I've always done is helping. I like to nurture. That's me. That's just my
Yeah,
natural gift. Like I love to serve. I love to help out
yeah,
anybody. That's just me. As you can see, like I told you, I'm a RBT. I love helping out people. I love making
yeah,
something. If I can making something. Uh, what do you like? What is your qualities?
yeah,
How can I help you find what it is that you need? How can I
yeah,
help guide you there to what you need?
yeah,
And that's the great thing about real estate. Like I said, a house that's a big deal. It's kind of like
yeah,
tasting wine. People have their own certain type of wine and their taste and what they like.
yeah.
When you have wine, same thing with a house. There's qualities and structures and buildings that people want
That
with
they
their
like, they
with,
prefer something,
that they
and so you
prefer.
have to find those.
I have to find those for, yeah, and that's something I love to do. Uh,
Yeah,
and I feel like touring houses is fun too as well.
yeah,
Like, yeah, because even for myself, I'm just like I'm not a homeowner yet, but when I get to, I'm like, oh, I get to see like, oh, this is
yeah,
what I want in my house. This is what I want in my. Okay, I don't want that in my house. I see that. Me also going to show these homes too to my clients
yeah.
as well.
So I didn't send you this question, but it came up. So I would like
Hmm.
to know. So when you ask a person, let's just say, they might be interested and they get to that, and you guys get to that conversation of finances, like how's your credit, your income. If it's bad, people tend to like shy away from that. They can be embarrassing, because it can be embarrassing, to say, especially in front of like a realtor, a loan
Hmm.
officer, my credit isn't that good. How do you make them feel comfortable with you? Do they have to be embarrassed to talk to you?
No, we're in a country that's in $1 trillion of debt.
Yes.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
That's what they say. That's what I always keep that thought. I'm like, I live in a country that's $1 trillion in debt. There's nothing to be embarrassed
Right.
about it. There are programs that, me and a mortgage officer that I work with can help you and nurture you through that to get you
Yeah.
where you want to be in
Yeah.
your credit. Whether you say you have a 550 credit score. Okay, let's look around. Let's see who does good credit repair, who does credit repair for you, and look at your option that you have. There's also programs too to get you into a house. There's equal
Wow.
housing opportunity for
Yeah.
everybody out here. And let's say you don't have the credit, but you have the cash. There's owner financing that you can go to as
Right.
well. I can help you get you through that process as
Right.
well.
So they don't
So
qualify. You don't just throw them out. Throw them out. You will help them.
yeah, they don't qualify at the moment, but you're really serious about buying a house and you want to get
Yeah.
there, or even if you're just looking to see what you qualify for, yes, that's what me as a realtor,
Yeah.
that's my job to nurture you through those things because I want you to have that dream home that you're desiring to have, you
Yeah.
know. And even then, it's after you buy your home as well. You say you want to only stay there for about 5 years and move to the next one. I would love to help you get to the next process in
Yeah.
buying your home as well. So,
Yes.
and I also network with other people that I reach out and be like, hey, I have this client, their credit is not so good. Do you think you can help them like get their credit where it needs to be in order for them to buy a house? Or,
Yes.
call a loan officer and
That
ask
is.
them questions like, hey, I have this buyer, they have the cash, but not so great the credit, but they want to do credit and the cash too at the
Right.
same time so they can have a better option. What is it that they will need to do? So we'll jump on a phone call with a mortgage officer or
Hmm.
a lender, so we know what we're getting. So my client knows what they're getting themselves into and what
Yeah.
process process that they need to take
Yeah.
in order to get to where they want to be to buy a home. So it's a consulting in there in real estate as well. So you're doing pretty much all not even getting paid, but you're working to show your clients like, hey,
Yeah.
especially me, I'm working to show my clients, hey, I will get you through the process because I want you to have your dream home. I
And
believe
it's not just a
everybody.
transaction to you.
It's
You really
not a change.
care.
No, I have a thing for connecting with people, which I thought I
Yeah.
lost be per COVID. It's
Yeah.
something I thought I lost because we was in the house for so long and not really
We
going out. And so for a while, I was like, man, I feel like an introvert. Like, oh man, I
Yeah.
can't even pick up the phone and call somebody. But I'm like, you know what? Jesus, come on with me.
Yes.
God, be with me. Help me through this because sometimes I get that imposter syndrome. Like, I can't do it. And I'm just like, I can do this. And this is
Yes.
what God brought me here for. And I'm like, God, I know you ain't bring me this far to think
Yeah.
that I can't do something like this.
That's awesome. So like sometimes that does happen, because so you're like, maybe people are good at it, maybe they can do it, maybe it's for them, but when it comes to yourself, it's sometimes like, can I really do this? So I do want to ask that, how do you feel like God has helped you continue on in real estate? Because it can be competitive with realtors, realtors, the customer underwriting, they don't like this house, they want this house, so it can be discouraging. So how does God help you through it?
For me, I just go in and I say, okay, whether it's a I'm taking a long process
Hmm.
for something, or, I celebrate my wins as well. Like, okay, I talked to 5 people today.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I was able to talk to 5 people today. I just say, thank you,
Yeah.
Father. That's what I say to myself. And in the morning, too, I talk to myself in the mirror and
Yeah.
just reaffirm myself like, okay, I'm an amazing
That is
realtor.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the things that I put in place, affirming myself, as a
Yeah.
man, then the word it says, as a man thinking in his heart, so it should be.
Yes.
So that's what I think about. I'm like, I know I'm a good realtor. God
Amen.
didn't put God put me here for a reason. There's a reason. There's somewhere where I need to finish something within
Yeah.
my own bloodline because both of my great grandfather and my grandfather started something here that needs to be finished,
Yeah.
and someone needs to continue on it. So that's the things that I think about. And I also go back and look at my prayer journal and look at all the things that God has already given me and those things that I dare to write down that I
Yes.
saw as a vision written in my journal. And I go back and I look at those, I was like, I accomplished these things because of I prayed for them and I
Yeah.
saw them. And I'm also living in right now something that I said that I wanted to be, which was a real estate agent, and to change my
And
family
that became real.
dynamic.
You wanted
And
it,
that I
and
wanted
it
it,
became
yeah.
real.
And it
Yes.
became real for me, yes.
So, what makes you a good realtor?
What makes me a good realtor? Like I said, my skills to be personable and
Mm-hmm.
to teach and to bring knowledge to somebody who doesn't, know too much about home ownership.
Yeah.
Um, I feel what also makes me a good realtor is listening to
Yeah.
what my client is feeling at the moment and what they're thinking about, and all the things that they worry about. It's my job to take that
Yeah.
and take your worries away as your agent. Take it away, and I handle those things that you need, so you have a smooth transaction being
Yeah.
going through the home buying process too as well.
Yes.
um I feel like I feel like that's what makes me a good realtor as well. Not just, just thinking about the money, because the money's gonna come.
Yeah.
It's it's gonna come, but making sure that someone's taken care of during this process.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I want someone to live be in their dream home. So that is my ultimate goal is, okay, I'm so happy that I was
Yeah.
able to help this person, and we're successful at
Yeah.
at the closing table, and you're now having your dream home with your
Yeah.
family, or this is maybe your first home. You're probably the first person in your family to buy a home.
Because it happens. It still
It
happens. Yeah.
happens. It still happens. Yeah. And
Yeah.
the younger generation is getting richer, as you can see, like through all social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see a lot more younger people who are buying homes. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like, oh wow, that's different,
Yeah.
especially in the price range that we are with the incentives and interest rates and all those things. Like, to me, I feel like, wow, that's amazing to see as well.
Yeah.
So that keeps me
So,
motivated too as well. I'm like,
yeah. So of course God does not reveal how hard things will be. So uh,
mm-mm.
everything we try to do is hard. Like this is hard, real estate is hard, anything is hard. So of course God will allow us to do something and not reveal, what we're going to go through. But if you could choose one thing that you wish you knew before you about real estate before you got into real estate, what would it be?
I would say hmm, 'cause I like the whole process of everything. I would say the hardest thing would be getting back out there and talking
Talking,
to. That was the hardest thing for me,
like
which is
interacting,
interacting and social media.
social
That,
media. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like if you're, for a while, if you're used to like being in, like introvert,
Yeah.
you're used to just being to yourself, which I'm used to being to myself. You got to muster up the courage and get out there, especially if you want, if you
Yeah.
got to make money and you want to do this, you got to make money. You got to have clients. You got to have people to serve too.
Yeah.
So I would say that would be the one thing, like that people don't tell you. It's not glitz and glam at
Mhm.
all. Definitely not glitz and glam at all. Like I said, got a budget. Like some people may get rich, may go and hit it hard, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like I said, like people, for me, I would say having tough skin,
Yes.
you got to make sure you have to patience.
Oh, that's a good one. And that's when I hear a lot because I used to actually work for a big insurance company. And I had, on the weekends, we would get all the calls from car salesmen. And so this car salesman, he calls in, to help his customer add the car to his insurance policy. And so he says, yeah, he goes, I'm in real estate now. And I said, well, oh, congratulations. And my mind is like, yes, like he's in real estate. I was young. I was like, he's making big money now. And he said, it is definitely a humbling experience. And I said, okay, how so? And he was telling me about it, how difficult it can be and how you are always overcoming a hardship in it. So do you feel like that's, even though you love it, even though you really, because it does, I can tell you really love it, is that kind of how it is? You're always having to just overcome something and just keep going. It is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it teaches you something personally, especially personally about yourself too, as well. How thick your skin is.
Oh,
It
wow.
it teaches you, it's patience,
Yeah.
and consistency. You have
And
to have consistency. You
yeah.
can't just, you're like, okay, yeah, now the clients, you got your license now. Okay, you got a good brokerage that you're with,
Yeah.
got the education and stuff, and you got all that. They're providing you with all these things now. You still have to go out and find your clients and talk to your clients. You can't,
Yeah.
who's going to know that you're an agent if you're not talking about it?
So you have to have, I guess, some kind of good self-esteem about yourself because
Good
it sounds like what you're
self-esteem.
saying is that you have to kind of like go and be on the front line, like with social media or
Mm-hmm.
calling people and talking to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Having, yeah, and like I said, having that patience, like, because something may not come unless you go out
Yeah.
there and get it. And even when you're going out there and you're getting it and you're working hard, something still may not come. But as long as you continue to keep that consistency, something will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say having patience is the biggest thing in real estate.
Yeah.
And like you said, that humbling spirit, it does happen.
Yes.
It does happen. Um, and also just, me, I just stay prayed up. So stay
Yeah.
prayed up and celebrate those little wins that
Yeah.
you have, that you get, no matter anything. It doesn't even have to be real estate. Celebrating those little bitty wins, like, okay, I still moved a step forward. Like, okay,
Yeah.
I wrote down some prompts that I got wanted for my podcast, or I talked
Yep.
to 10 people
Yeah.
today.
When you
Uh,
want to get to a certain level in something, especially with social media, oh my God, it will throw you off when it is not happening as fast as you want it to happen.
hmm
And then, but you are right. So not celebrating those small wins, you can kind of forget about them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that's one thing that I always have to tell myself, girl, you did something good today. Having
Yes.
gratitude. I feel like having a good attitude and having a gratitude, having a smile on your face every day while you're doing something because you're in it, the more will come to you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and like we ask God to bless us with something that we want to do so we can help bless others.
Yes.
That's the main.
Awesome.
That's the one thing you gotta think. If you're in real estate and you're
Hmm.
wanting to do it and you're in that coursework, get through that coursework. That's the easiest part. Getting through the coursework is the easiest part.
Yeah.
Finding finding the good brokerage that works for you is the easiest part. The hardest part is staying consistent, having patience, with your clients and having patience with yourself as well. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, social media makes everything seem so like glitz and glam, and it's
It
not
does.
that.
It
Mm-mm.
does.
It's not that. You may be handling clients that that are quite difficult and are giving you a hard time with
Yeah.
whether you're selling, whether you're a seller agent or a buyer's agent or even a listing agent. You're gonna have those clients, and you have
Yeah.
those clients that like you got to put in the work
Yes.
for them, so for them to like continue on and to go through the process as
Yeah.
well.
So I think we have all just met our new favorite realtor, Kendra Mims. So Kendra, how can people get in contact with you?
You can get in contact with me. You can follow me on social media at I.am.Kendra underscore. Also on Facebook, it's Kendra Mims as well. You can also email me at kendra.mims@lptrealty.com as well to get in contact with
Yeah.
me and talk to me about a house as well.
Yes. So, what would you say as a final statement? This could be about real estate. This could be about just life, period, dealing with hardship. Sometimes, like you said, you have to take that test 4 times. So sometimes we have to start over. We have to go back to where we failed. So, as words of encouragement, what would you say to anybody that may have to revisit a place where they failed before?
Get through it. It's better to get through it than to just sit there and stay in the same cycle that you're in.
Yeah,
And you've already said that you wanted to change your life. You want something different for yourself.
yeah,
So if that thing is real estate, no matter what it is, get through it.
mm-hmm.
Go with God with it. Keep God first with it. He's going to show you an answer. He's going to show
Yes,
you the way. It may not be easy, but He's going to show you. He's going to give you every step that you need to get
yeah,
through what you're going through.
yes,
So I would say, don't stay in it. Don't sit in that. But think of all the things that you've already accomplished already, and be like, all right, let's
yeah,
go. Let's finish. Let's get through it. All right, we at this step. Let's get through. Let's finish through the finish line. Because really, sometimes the finish line really just be right there,
that
and
is
we
so
may
true.
be taking forever, and it just be our own, our own human error. So
It's
I would
us.
just
Yeah.
say, just stick with God, keep God first. He will show you a way to get where you need to go. It's
Yes.
not, as I say, it's not all glitz. It may not be all glitz and glamour. Hey, I like
Hmm.
potatoes. Potatoes are versatile. Potatoes come out of dirt, but
Yeah.
we like them.
Yeah.
So it's good to go through those hardships. It keeps you, it's what molds you into being the person that you want to be, that person you
Yeah.
want to be, see yourself 20, 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah. And the hardships that you had, like you said, like when we were talking earlier, just in life, does that help you be more personal, more relatable when you talk to clients?
Yeah, because I understand.
Because you understand, yeah.
Mhm. I
So see,
understand.
our hardships help us to relate to people.
Cool.
Definitely, we don't like I said, we don't like it when we are going through a hard time, but you do. I guess you find yourself sometimes, I guess, having to pick people up about their finances, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like don't be discouraged. Like I said, we're in a country that owes $1 trillion of debt. Don't
yeah,
be embarrassed. They sure are.
yeah. They're not
They
embarrassed.
they're not embarrassed at all.
It happens. It
It
happens. All kind of
happens.
things happen.
Yeah, like we said, life be lifing.
Life be life, and
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for coming on. I think it's wonderful for you to motivate people and encourage people just in life, like not even just in the home buying process, but in life as well. So, anything else you want to share with us? Any words of encouragement? Anything at all?
Don't give up. Stay prayed up. You know, you're looking for a home. If you're whoever your realtor is, if it's me or if it's not me, go through the process with them.
Yeah,
Go through that process, pray, and you're a realtor and you're wanting to be a realtor, or if you already are a realtor, get up, keep going. It's
keep
not the
going.
end yet.
Thank
There
you.
it
Yes.
hasn't ended. Thank you
Amen.
for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I truly, truly enjoyed this. I hope I hope and I think it will really lift up a lot of people. People need encouragement. So thank you so much for coming on. You guys will be able to see Kendra's contact information in the comments. So thank you all so much again for tuning into another episode with myself and Miss Kendra.
Thank you.
Good job.